What's up, y'all? Forward Fabian. We are back with a video, man. We're doing the Anton Daniels reaction to single mother with tattoos and piercings everywhere. Says she's looking for a stepfather for her son. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this in the comment section below. Shout out Anton Daniels. Let's see what this clip has to say.
Something I've really been thinking about lately, dating as a single mom in her 30s, is how much my perspective has changed on what I am looking for in a future partner. And the biggest one is I am looking for a father for my son. I am 100%. But I remember back in the day, I remember even saying and telling potential suitors, like, I'm not looking for a father for my son. I'm not looking for a father for my son. But now I'm like, that was the dumbest shit ever. Why would I have ever said that? Because number one, my son and I are a package deal. You do not get access to me without taking him into account as well. You know what I mean? And he needs a father figure. He does. And I want to be partnered with someone that my son can look up to, someone that he can emulate.
And everything she's saying,
I want to be partnered with someone that my son can look at and be like, that's the type of man, father, and partner I want to be, right? And now I know that this doesn't apply to everyone because a lot of people do, you know, have children who have active dads in their lives. That is not the case for me. And thankfully so. I am super grateful that my son does.
all right, man. That's the thing, is this conversation is tenfold. You can go to every which direction with it. But to start with the point as to why she wouldn't emphasize or mention that she's not looking for a father for her son in the beginning, when she said in her earlier years, this is what she would tend to tell men that she was dating, so to speak, or men that were courting her. There's a specific reason why you felt the need to say you weren't looking for a father for your son. Let's peel that layer back first, because I think a lot of women ideally think that saying that, or leading with, right? Maybe that's the detail there, or the specific, leading with that, hey, I'm looking for a father for my son, will scare males away, male suitors away. Men aren't interested in just taking on someone else's child immediately, right? That's generally speaking. There's some men out there that will happily do it, but in the general perspective, a lot of men don't want to take that on. And I think it's more so in the times we live in, because I think back in the day, men were marrying women with children all the time. But it's just a different world we live in. But she felt the need to hide that or not lead with that, because she knows internally men are turned off by that. You know what I mean? Like,
Does not have his dad in his life. And I know that sounds harsh, like, because it's painful for him, right? Like, no one wants that. And, like, in a perfect world, that's not how it would be.
This is um very insane, in my opinion, to observe, to pay attention to listen to, because I am incredibly perplexed. While on the first hand, I was listening to her and I was thinking to myself, well, I could respect the person that is being absolutely real and transparent, not that she didn't have any other choice, because she could have continued to lie for herself, just like so many other women that we see lie to themselves that you guys send me videos for. She could have continued to lie to herself, or she could have been incredibly transparent and said, yep, you know what? It wasn't working for me before, by lying to myself and lying to other people, as though I didn't need a father figure for my son. But in reality, I did need a father figure for my son. I do need a father figure for my son. And so I'm basically looking for somebody to be a step baby daddy. I'm looking for somebody to be a step crash dummy. And this is why I tell guys that are single with no children, and I ask them the question, and I see too many guys actually fall into this trap, but a lot of them are waking up a lot more. But I've seen it throughout the years. And I ask guys all the time, and I say, why would you take on a package deal for a girl? And what benefit is that to you?
you see,
When I walk into a
and I think that's what my point was, right? Like, uh, Yeah, and I think that's what my point partially was, that like Anton's perspective is that a lot of men aren't going to take that on, and he kind of coaches men to not deal with that. You know what I mean? But to each their own. If you find a woman that you care about, you love her, you respect the dynamic, you're willing to take on her children, and you have the actual capacity to do so, financial stability, by all means, man. You could be called to be doing that. You know what I mean? I'm a very believer in things are purposeful. When we talk about being aligned with the Lord and you know what God has in store for us, it may not be always reflective of how the world thinks. You know what I mean? And the world will think like, hey, this. The world generally thinks logically. Hey, this isn't a good bet to take on. This isn't a good deal to take on. Go find you a woman that is doesn't have children, right? So that's what I was leading with. But in all actuality, if we kind of, you know, flip the script and kind of ask, if we were to ask this woman certain questions, right? Like, what was the shift in the mindset, right? To where you started thinking like, hey, I do need a father figure. She partially explained it, a good role model, but I think it ties back to the nature of men and kind of what their role is to protect and provide. I think provisioning is a big part that we could have probably went down that lane or went down that avenue on, but she was just, and obviously we didn't get a full context of the video, but it just seems like she probably hit a rough patch. She probably does resonate with the fact of a role model in her son's life. Um, but hey, a lot of men aren't going to pick up the pieces, so to speak. And a lot of men will call this baggage. And from the outside looking in, a lot of other men will be more or less like, rekindle with the father, what's going on with the father. Of course, each situation is different, but that's my standpoint with it, man. It's funny because the title was all about tattoos. We didn't really cover, you know, image and perception with that. But I don't know. A lot of men, just generally speaking, aren't going to take it on. So obviously, it's rough for many women to find stability. I think dating is one thing, but finding stability is a whole nother thing, right? You can date, but is you gonna settle down with a guy, and what's the character of the guy, and what's he willing to actually do? Is he gonna stick it out? You know, is it a long term kind of thing? So, comment down below, man. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this. I think that ideally, yes, every woman that can't get back with the father of her children needs to have a role model, a father figure in their lives for their children, man. Or else, two-parent households just they're better. They sustain the children. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, growing up with both parents in the house, you tend to be more of a productive member of society, man. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section, man. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless. We'll see y'all in the next video.